Welcome, acolytes. I am reacting to a apparently, college degrees are are being applied by Twitter. I don't know what to say about it. This is, but before I get out of the way, this video is made by Clownfish TV. Don't know the dude. Didn't look into it beforehand. And it got delivered by Agent of Social Media Chaos. Thank you for that one, mate. Again, hope you like my reactions about them. Seemingly you do, because you wouldn't share this one if it wouldn't be. But let's see what Clownfish has to say about it. Still sorry, college pedal Gen Z degree for TikTok and eSports. What the fuck? it sounds...
Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about colleges peddling worthless degrees. We're going to talk about this.
I mean, influencer studies break into the Ivy. Oh, freak me. Okay.
Influencer studies degree that some universities are offering, and this is basically like gender studies, but for people that want to be YouTubers and TikTokers. And
I'm like, they're just like, what else can we get people to pay for? That's what this is.
Hear me out on that. They are selling a product. They're not selling education, they are selling a product. And at first, this sounds actually quite... It sounds like shit, like bullshit. I'll be honest, this sounds totally idiotic, but for a young person that actually wants to be an influencer, this sounds like something that you could do to actually reach your goal. So yeah.
This is about like what can we get these dumb kids to pay for? that's what this is. Ivy Leagues are doing it now.
Yeah, so Cornell and Duke, and yeah, there's a lot of schools are offering this. They're trying to stay relevant, and this is right up there with the whole eSports degree thing. They're pushing this really hard. Now we're in Pennsylvania. Those of you who have listened to us for a while know we're in Pennsylvania, and they're pushing this really hard in the colleges.
They are.
By the way, and yes, they are pushing it hard in colleges. Thank you for this information. But also, a degree in eSports. Esports aren't particularly profitable in the conventional way. You actually, if you have an esports team or organize an esport, you most likely do not go in the red with it. So, yeah, think about that what you will, but it looks like it's a worthless degree.
In schools, and I've actually gotten into, I'm not even kidding, I've gotten into arguments with people from academia over the validity of these degrees, because I'm like, as somebody who does this or does stuff adjacent to this for a living, it does not work the way you think it works. And in fact, we're on the other side of it.
But it's funny to me because we're going to look at it, and some of the people they're bringing up, that the ones that they're teaching these classes, or the people they're using as examples, don't even have that many followers themselves.
No, so let's talk about this.
What the really? Well, okay, I'm gonna be honest. No, this doesn't even shock me that much. No, it makes sense. It makes sense. Nah.
This is like look, I want to be very clear. We're not trying to crush anybody's dreams, but there are a lot of factors that go into this, and I can tell you, as someone who, again, as people have been doing this for a while, that the influencer bubble is bursting, and the esports train is already pulled out of the station, right? So there are people that can make livings at it, but it's not like a normal job. Like you go get a job at the esports company and you work there and you get a watch. It doesn't work that way. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Go out to clownfishminus.com. Clownfishminus.com. We have more content out there. Thank you very much for the support on that. You guys have been awesome.
Yes, thank you.
So yeah, this comes from the Hollywood Reporter. Geeky found it.
I was laughing. I'm like, are you serious right now? More of the money from parents to flush down the shitter.
Influencer studies break into the Ivy League.
You know what? The thing is, the poor. I doubt that poor people or people who actually want to reach something will take this. But imagine being some dumb kid that actually wants to do this. Sorry. And then realizes that this is just pure bullshit and this kid just wasted the entire money for nothing, for a worthless degree. It's just shocking to me. And they are, I don't know, it's sad.
Universities like Cornell, Duke, Tulane, and USC now include classes and clubs
Okay,
on
clubs I can see.
personal branding.
Clubs, I agree with her, clubs are okay. Clubs on that, no problem with that. But classes, come on.
Acquiring followers, and other skills for aspiring influencers, giving new meaning to social studies. No life skills, though. Just get more followers.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. The creator economy is valued at an estimated $250 billion, and that figure is projected to double in the next few years.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so. Not for influencers. I think for online video advertising. I'm going to tell you what, before we get into their article anymore, just anecdotally, a lot of people who have been doing the influencer thing for a long time have noped out in the last year or two. And I think part of it is they know it's not going to get better. I think between there being a lot more competition and lowering ad rates and the advent of AI, which is going to generate a lot of content on the fly, there's going to be less and less demand for individuals to produce
Probably,
content, right? Plus, I think a lot of brands got burnt by influencers. Dylan Mulvaney. I'm just saying. They said more than half of Gen Z aspires to become influencers.
We told you that the other day.
54% of Americans age 18 to 60 have stated they would quit their jobs if they could make a living as a full-time influencer.
Speaking of this, okay, so a couple of years ago, we were looking to buy a piece of furniture, and we were at the furniture store, and we were talking to the one lady that worked there, and then in the discussion, it turned out that the one guy who worked there, I think she was filling in for them or whatever, quit because he was going to go be an influencer, a video gaming influencer.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, oh, okay, so how many subs did he have? Oh, no, he hasn't started yet.
Oh, my God.
But he's going to go make a living at it. We're just like, oh. And she goes, we told him it was a bad idea.
Oh. Yeah, it's... It can go good. Especially in gaming. Ooh. Well, let's just hope it worked out.
And I'm like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. You need to make sure you have a sizable, unless like you're like us, where literally we had to, because it was another instance of somebody screwed us over, and that was, if we didn't have this, we'd have nothing. You don't want to do that.
Yeah,
you don't want to quit until you know you can do it, and even then, you never know how long it's gonna last.
It's just like any other creative field, right? I mean, there's usually an ebb and flow to these things, and a lot of it is, I hate to be that guy, but a lot of it's luck. In our case, we already had our channel kind of built, but we just kind of played around with it, and we didn't go all in until we had to, because we had our one website kind of yanked from us, but it turned out that was actually the best thing that could happen, because we really weren't giving it our full attention. But the thing is that the weird thing about YouTube and TikTok and any of these platforms is it doesn't matter how much you throw at it. A lot of times it is kind of luck of the draw, right? And everybody talks about, the genius of Mr. Beast. I'm like, Mr. Beast actually got lucky, and he had people behind him that bankrolled a lot of his harebrained ideas that were so outrageous that people tuned in just to see how. And that's a one-off. That's never going to happen again. And now that everything is like imploding with him,
I'm gonna be honest, never say never in this case, because somebody else can reach the same heights as Mr. Beast. It will happen inevitably. Like this, there will be a person that actually just replaces Mr. Beast. It's just life. Nobody is irreplaceable, and nothing is basic. Like realistic things, let's just say it like that, aren't impossible. But it's very, very extremely unlikely that you are the person this happens to. Or you, me, well, yeah. And yes, it is a mix of that. What I learned, it's a mix of actually contacting the right people that I am bad at. I am not talking to anyone right now that actually has some power, and I don't know how to start. I have to learn that. And luck. From all the people that I talked or heard or read or think and read between the lines, it's luck, and it's knowing the right people, how to actually sell yourself.
I don't think anybody's gonna be stupid enough to give some
But
kid
he
a
was
bunch of
giving
money.
lectures about his business empire at Harvard
Of course.
and Penn State. Come on.
Yeah, that's just because it sells.
Like, but they're doing stuff too now.
Oh,
Clubs and
God.
courses and entire degree programs to the art of business of content creation.
This is a case of you can talk about it. So our son's in school right now, and he shares his lessons with us sometimes, and we like look at each other and kind of face palm because I'm like,
He's going for business.
this is not what you're going to be doing in the real world, right?
Well, what was the one? He's like, we had to listen to a textbook written by somebody that one is way old, and
Yeah.
two, it's about like how to crowdfund your business. And I'm like, no.
Your whole
Unless you
business?
have
That
a
doesn't
studio,
work.
unless you have like a platform, or you have a really, really amazing idea and you have the money to get prototypes and everything for it. No. Like, no.
That's
and
correct.
He's telling me this stuff, and thank God he knows what's bull and what's not, because that's why he tells us, because he knows we'll find it funny. But there's a lot of kids in this class that are paying for these classes that are like really listening to this and taking it to heart and not understanding that it isn't as easy or as viable now as they're saying it is.
Yeah, it's actually
kind of sad.
It is. It's actually getting worse now. A lot of influencers are kind of hanging on by their fingertips right now. That's
No,
why
I'm not trying to say you shouldn't do it if you really want to do it.
No.
I'm just saying be smart about how you do it.
Yeah, and I agree with that. You cannot, like me, let's just take me. This is a hobby for me. This is a pure hobby. I don't expect any returns on this, or I expect, that's not entirely true. I actually expect returns on this, especially after the V2 model. And even then, I still learned that I fucked up. Because I got the wrong program. I'm still doing this shit. I'm still doing it wrongly because, well, I could make an entire moving thing, but I don't have the right camera. I don't have the freaking gloves for it. I should have done way more research than I did, but I seen, oh fuck, I have a bit money over. Let's invest it. Let's just risk it. And I fucked up. But it is what it is. You learn.
Yeah, and I'm like looking at this, I'm like, we're gonna run into the same situation with these kids that we're running into with people that go to school for art or animation or whatever, where they go get this degree and they think that the degree is going to create the opportunity for them, and that's not always the case. Like, it's good to be prepared if an opportunity arises and you can network and all that, but the reality is a lot of it still comes down to luck. There are far fewer jobs than there are people that want those jobs. And
yep, it is nonetheless a bit luck based. I would say it's always a mix of luck and actual talent, specifically for this kind of thing, because the A and O in life is networking. If you can make this happen, networking, make happen, then it's fine. Then you're gonna be probably fine. But if you cannot make this happen, then it's gonna be a lot harder. And networking is just something, even for those who actually maybe don't realize it, networking is everything, or most of the thing, about 80% of it. And then luck. Luck, you need a lot of luck. You can force luck up, but most of the time it's luck. If you it's just like, just imagine about watching this video right now. from every single person on YouTube, from the fucking millions, trillions, or I don't even know how many videos that you could watch right now, you're watching me. I don't think that this is my talent. I think this was luck that you clicked on it. My shitty thumbnail, you liked it. My shitty title, you liked it. And I just got lucky that I fished you. That's all. Because I'm not saying I'm doing quality content here. It's freaky. It was luck to a certain degree. And also, the fact is, I actually put this video out. That part isn't luck, that's I did something. And now the video is actually shown.
There's going to be a shakeout. And I just think it's really dumb to be like, oh, you're going to go to school, get your YouTube degree, and then you're going to go be a YouTuber full time. I'm like, yeah, if the audience likes you, I guess, and the algorithm likes you, I guess. I mean, I'll be honest, like, I don't know, starting a YouTube channel from scratch now, if we could do it.
Well, the same with webcomics. Like, if you do it now, it would be so much harder than it was then because there wasn't as many people doing it. But now, the same thing with these influencer accounts or anything else.
Yep.
There's just so many people. Unless you have like a completely unique angle that there's demand for, it's going to be hard. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it's not as easy as they're spinning it out. But let's look at what these colleges are offering. Cornell is what are they offering? They're going to offer. Are they doing Content Creators Scholars Network? Teacher of Cornell's platforms Power and Precarity in the Creator Economy seminar.
What the
and Communication
fuck
Graduate Program. Oh, in the Communication Graduate Program. So they're making it part of their communications department. This Washington State Edward Monroe College Communication is doing one. Personal branding for athletes, influencers. Okay, now that I get. Personal branding for athletes and creators. I get that one because it's tied to marketing.
Right.
And I do think anybody who wants to do something that's like you're your own brand or you're in charge of your own thing, you really, or art or whatever, you really should have business classes and some marketing classes. And I think that actually is that one that's fair. It's 6-week summer version, and there's a class, but it teaches you marketing techniques. That one I don't hate. That one I think is a good idea.
Yeah, shut up, stay off Twitter, or if you're gonna tweet, make sure it's if you're a huge celebrity and kids are looking up to you and all, and I'm not talking like an edgy podcaster, right? I'm talking like you're getting, you're on the box of Wheaties and all that, if that means anything anymore. Yeah, you need to shut up about the politics. You need to shut up about, your sex life. You need to shut up. You need to stop attacking people.
Oh, whoa. How I do agree on the freaking sex life stuff. God damn it, I'm working on other things right now. Sorry about that. Irrelevant. Yeah. That's correct. Shut up about those things because a lot of people think that their opinion is very, very, very important. Bullshit. My opinion is my opinion. That's all there is. That's also for everyone else. Your opinion is your opinion. You can look at it and say, oh, a lot of people agree with me. That's fine. But that's all it is. It's your opinion. And if you're a giant celebrity that actually does shit and doesn't inform themselves about shit, then shut the fuck up. Tell your opinion, but don't tell people to actually, vote for the person you like the most. I mean, for fuck's sake, I still cannot, for the life of me, just not accept that people literally would pick a mentally ill person because of old age and dementia over someone who's actually mentally sound. I still cannot fathom this fact, but it's true. That's life.
People online, it's not a good look. That one's free.
Yeah. They're talking about subsections assignments across the board for communication majors. Okay, they're tying into assignments. Okay, as long as they're like charging for classes. Mississippi State during this fall, it's an online course on how to build a large social following. taught by TV meteorologist Nick Kosier.
Wait.
The dancing weatherman guy. Yes.
Oh, the dancing weather. I was like, what's a weatherman have to do with?
Okay, now him I get.
Okay, 14 million followers.
Penn State. I love this one. The Reach Club. Okay, at least it's a club. It's a school hosts a social media content creator summit camp for high schoolers and a creator accelerator digital test lab. It's a 1 credit online course taught by Bill Zimmerman. Now I looked up Bill Zimmerman. Bill Zimmerman has like 1.2 thousand, not a million, thousand followers on X, and the two of the people that were bragging about being in his book have like 100K followers on YouTube. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I get that like huge creators are too busy being huge creators but it just, I feel like, I mean, I'm really torn on this because I'm like, on one level, it's like we don't have, any schools teaching you how to do this stuff, but I'm also like, you can't really teach it, right?
Well, as soon as you start teaching it,
everybody's gonna do the same thing.
Of course you can teach it. You can basically teach everything. You can at least teach the theory part, the theory part. I mean, I could literally give you the information about how to cut meat properly. I could teach you this, but you still have to practice it. Having the information that you actually learned is the teaching part, and then actually using it is the practical part.
Okay, it's like art. I'm going to tell you this. It's like art school. You go to art school and then, to get your degree and whatever. And unless you're going to be a teacher in art, you don't need to be in art school. You can learn exact same things yourself on your own time. It just takes you longer.
Yeah.
But what they do is you come in
And this, by the way, also accounts for every single other thing in this world. You can actually learn things by yourself I am sure there are some things you cannot, but most of the things you can learn by yourself and just teach to a certain degree. Of course, you still need the practical implication no matter where you go, but you can teach yourself a lot of things just by informing yourself about.
And basically it's by professor and what they like and the style they like, so you have to be what they want you to be. They basically mold you into themselves, and any uniqueness you had that could have set you apart gets washed away. Unless you have a really good teacher who appreciates everybody's being unique. And that's what they're doing. It's like they're doing paint by numbers to teach people how to do this, and one size does not fit all. And that's the problem.
Yeah, and so many things in life.
The one they're bragging about on here, that Shade TV, that Marissa whatever, 105 subs. 105,000.
Oh, I was gonna say 105. I'm like, you too can.
I'm just like, wow, hot damn.
It's so weird. I mean, we're over. I think we're over 500.
We're still tiny.
We're tiny. I don't think they realize, like, in the YouTube space, unless you have multiple millions. I'm not even talking 1 or 2 million. I'm talking like, you're not even a big deal until you've hit like 10 million subs on YouTube. Yeah. So I mean, like, look, don't go out and harass.
I think this is a matter of perspective. Because with their, let's just see, how many subs do they have? They have 558,000 subs. And they can support a family of 3. I'm gonna be honest, this is a big deal. This is a very big deal. At least to me. So yeah. Oh, and by the way, you get 1 more sub for that one. This is already a fantastic video. I like how those two just go around and do stuff.
These people or whatever. I'm just like,
oh, I'm not saying that at all.
I just like, it's so weird. I mean, I guess it's just weird to me to see this. I mean, it was kind of the same way like when I was a teenager and I wanted to draw comic books, and there was like, you couldn't really go to school for it unless you went to the Joe Kubert school, right? You get like a general arts degree or whatever. But the vast majority of people who worked in the comic book industry had no formal training because it's such a weird thing. And I think it's even more so in the YouTube or podcasting space or whatever. Like, you can get a good technical explanation, but things change so fast too, right? Like, what you're being taught in school now and 5 years from now is going to be completely obsolete. And it's like graphic design. People went to school for graphic design. They learned to use a bunch of software that's probably not even being used anymore. and they were told, hey, you're going to have a job forever. Then along comes AI. Along comes Fiverr with overseas talent that work significantly cheaper than you can afford to work for.
So next one, Salem State University. Now, okay, here's an elective for media and communications majors, run by Rebecca Haynes, a micro influencer. What the hell's a micro? We come in different sides. Micro, what's that mean? Micro influencer.
That means probably just a couple thousand.
Micro.
A micro-influencer, what I would think is, I mean, it's a made-up stuff, but a micro-influencer would be a small influencer that actually specializes in their region or state.
But they're making it as elective. Social media marketing campaigns course at Southern New Hampshire University. I had students who were well-established influencers. Well, that's good, though. Okay, I will say this. They will say this. That's another class where I think would be helpful. They're teaching you how to target for social media marketing. That is a helpful class. That, like the one about your own personal brand and how to manage your own brand, those are helpful. And so I can see influencers taking this class. That makes sense to me.
I think what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to map this out, right? I'm like, if more than half of young people want to be full-time influencers, who's going to watch their content? Because half of the population is making stuff. Is it the other half's job to watch the stuff? Do they watch each other? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
This is like
Come on, don't be that shitty. Even an influencer watches stuff. Just because you're an influencer doesn't mean you don't watch stuff. Come on. That's a bit dishonest argumentation. I mean, there would be enough people to do it. What doesn't work is, and I like to grab it, if you're working in the state as a car salesman and you want your freaking sausage, but there are no butchers because every single one in this freaking city is working as a car salesman, this won't work. You have to import it.
Webcomics, we ran into this too, where 10, 12 years ago, like it turned out that the vast majority of people that were reading webcomics were people that were making their own webcomics. And it was just one giant circle jerk.
Here's another class where you're given key concepts in audience analysis and social media listening. Then Tulane University has professional advancement media and design degree, offering online courses in strategy, storytelling, and utilizing a studio.
Well,
some of these I think are worth it. Other ones I'm just like, what? Sorority recruitment process have gone viral on TikTok. Oh, for fuck's sake!
This is basically they're trying to retain kids because like kids are like they don't want to go to school for traditional jobs. Nobody wants to work a traditional job anymore. So
reminds me of, for the most part. Now, some of these classes, don't get me wrong, I do think some of these actually they're a one class thing. They are actually things I would recommend and are helpful. But this reminds me of those self-help gurus. They go around and they're selling you the dream.
Yeah.
Buy my book.
Yep.
That's what this is.
That's exactly it.
That's what this is. Now, are you going to be able to do what they say that you can do and be like them?
Yeah, they're selling a product. Simple as that.
No, probably not. But buy their book. And that's kind of what it reminds me of.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're all like, they're talking about it on the New York Post, too.
They're giving bachelor's arts degrees. Oh, my God.
This is so bad.
Classes, I think. Okay.
Classes, yeah.
On marketing and individual things like, how to use social media or how to do targeted advertisements or something like that. Totally think that's a good idea. But some of these other things, I'm just like, what?
You might get lucky, but you won't understand why you're going viral, which can make virality difficult to replicate. Mm-hmm. Right? Well, if it was so easily replicated, then everybody would be going viral all the time.
That's correct, yes.
Exactly.
You'd be bigger than Mr. Beast. If you knew how he did it, you'd be bigger than he is, right? Everybody'd be bigger than him. And
a lot of the influencer space is like TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. But on there, it's more like brand deals and crap. You don't get paid like you do on places like YouTube.
Okay, this though is changing. This is another okay. It said in recent years, there's been increased demand from employers for content creation and social media savvy from Gen Z. No, I think it's actually I'm going to tell you the truth. I think it's actually going the other way because a lot of these people, they were given chances. they hired, and this is why I think they hired them. They're like, oh, they know more about TikTok or they know more about Instagram or whatever. We're going to hire this, 22-year-old to run our social media.
Yep.
And then they shoot their damn mouths off. They say stupid shit on social media. They start getting political. They start being sassy with the customers. I'm using air quotes for sassy. They start being sassy with the customers. They chase off business. They actually cost the company, in some cases, hundreds of millions of dollars.
This quote, so it's absolutely critical, particularly for entrepreneurs, but big companies are using it more and more. Okay, I do think that knowing how to use like TikTok and Instagram and stuff, if you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to sell your product, is smart. Do I think you need Gen Zs to do it for you? No. And I think that the reason why companies aren't hiring them now, and then sadly, like I said, there's a lot of Gen Zs that do not apply to that are really great, and that they have their head on their shoulders, and they're not full of shit. But there's a bunch that are like, I'm the chief vibe officer. I can't do my job, but I bring good vibes. And that's why they're turning against everybody, because
Yes, and I'm such a special little waggy daggy that actually does stuff, and I know everything. I don't have to even think about the things I already know because they are all correct always. I had someone like that, and it was just such a pain in the ass. My boss actually told me, no, SmilingLich, don't be as harsh as you were to the last guy. He actually break down at some point, and I am like, yeah, but he got fine, and now, after he actually goes out and looks for another job, after actually getting a lot of ones, and in Germany this is like the highest thing you can get in schools, he actually had me and told me, yeah, thank you. And the little shit actually abused that. Got a lot of 6s, 5s, and 4s, so the bottom tier of notes. And my boss was just baffled. He didn't know how to freaking go around and do this. Like, how can I inspire this person so they can get the best out of them? And I told to my boss, hey, let me do it. I'm gonna do it as I do it. Well, my boss told me, okay, do it, just try it. The next day, the little shit had to freaking clean the entire, how is it called? Lagerraum. The one part of the building where we just storage, where we storaged not the meat. It wasn't that bloody. It was more for and the next word I forgot. Gewürze. Give me a second. Spices. I gave him a toothbrush and told him, you have exactly 1 day to clean this entire room out. It wasn't a big room. It was a really, really small one. It wasn't that big. You could have done it with a toothbrush on 1 day. And yes, I also did it because I just wanted everything to be perfectly fucking clean. So it's not that I actually demand things I wouldn't do by myself. Here's a toothbrush. Here is a bucket. Here's something to clean. Now clean this shit. He went to the boss. The boss told, you're under his mercy. And I told him he either can fuck off and never come again or do the shit I told him. He did it. Never complained again. Suddenly I helped him with his work, with his schoolwork. He got better 2s and 1s again. Because I was harsh. It's just such a... Fuck it. I ramble way too long, but I think you understand my thing. It's not that you cannot let someone that thinks that he's actually special and does this work so good, let them think that they are doing their work perfectly when they are only doing shit. It has to have consequences.
those people are the ones everybody's comparing it to.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just thought this whole thing was funny.
Again, this goes along with the eSports degrees, and we're seeing them, especially in Pennsylvania.
All the schools are like, we're going to have an eSports team. It's like,
Okay, good, but
and
yeah, and I've actually, like I said, I've actually gotten into arguments with people over the viability of a professional esports career for most people. I'm not saying everybody. I mean, if you're freakishly good at a game and you get on a team, that's fantastic. But I know a lot of companies are pulling back on the spending. I know that they're not sponsoring esports like they were. And statistically, it's like joining the Olympics, right? It's like you can do gymnastics every day after school, but it doesn't mean you're going to be an Olympic athlete. And you need to be real with people up front.
True.
It's not saying you can't be.
No.
But like statistically, there's like a less than a 1% chance that all these kids that get into this are actually going to do it.
I mean, the
and
thing
don't
is,
lie
what's
to them.
hard is, yeah, that's the thing is, what's hard is you have kids that there's no way in hell.
Yeah.
And then but they just want the money at these schools or whatever,
Yes.
and then it's just like giving false hope, and I just think that's crap. But I
Yeah,
think,
the false hope. Why? Just tell them, no, you're a lazy shit. You won't ever do it. If you don't change, you won't do it. Change this, and this, and maybe you have the freaking less than 0.000% of a chance of actually reaching your goal. Tell them that, as they said, tell them that. Don't bullshit them. Tell them as it is. And if they are a dumbass, continue the work they are doing, and after a while they realize, oh, I was full of shit, then it's fine. You actually save them a lot of time, money, stress, and probably their families a lot of time, money, and stress, just by being honest.
I mean, I guess you just learn the hard way. I mean, it is it's just like any other sports. Like you start out like, you have like football, you have your little elementary little groups that play, and then you go up to your high school football, and then you go to college, and then so on and so on. It's like that. Where only so many of them actually make it to the pro leagues and stuff. It's not saying it's impossible, but it's not likely. And I think these schools are chasing it, thinking it's going to. Well, they think they're going to get grant money and all this stuff.
That's what it's about. It's about grant money. It's about tuition. They're like, oh, well, what are all the? Hey there, fellow kids. What are you into? Oh, well, we got a degree for that. You want to be a TikToker? Yeah, okay. We'll give you a degree in TikTok. Give us 200,000.
We'll have a teacher who has 500 followers teach you how to do it.
We'll give you a TikTok.
They're a micro influencer.
Yeah, it's like,
oh my god.
I really like somebody needs to take the kids that actually have potential in any space like this. Somebody needs to take them aside, pull them aside, and be like, look. Here is the truth, the brutally honest truth. Do you or do you not actually want to do this? Because you're going to have to do X, Y, Z thing, and it's not as glamorous as you think it's going to be.
You don't even get into the hours of work.
No.
And it takes forever to get very far.
And the shit you have to deal with from people on an almost daily basis.
Unless you have funding and support by somebody who's already established, it's not as easy as it looks.
Nope.
I'm not saying that everybody would fail. I'm just saying I don't think it's right to be charging for a class on it. But some of the classes that are marketing based, I think, are worth your time.
So we're gonna wrap that up.
Yes.
I think we're gonna wrap this up. Please subscribe.
Thank you too. Great freaking video. Appreciate it. Gonna look those guys up more often because really, really nicely done. And thank you for the Agent of Social Media Chaos. Again, thank you for this is a really good one. I really like those two. This is something I'm gonna look up way more often. But as it is, acolytes, good night.